Welcome back, Amiibros, to Mission 16 of Devil May Cry. In the last episode, we went face to face with Griffin for the last time before being rudely interrupted by the big bad himself, Mundus. 15 missions in and we finally got to meet the guy. Better late than never, I suppose. In this episode, we'll be making our way back to Mallet Castle by using our newly acquired Wheel of Destiney. I'm 2,000 plus red orbs shy of getting rolling blaze, but we'll see if that changes by the end of today's episode. Spoiler alert, it does, but by how much? Well, you'll have to wait and find out. Over here, there's a free blue orb. And yes, every time you start up Mission 16, that will always be a blue orb, not a blue orb fragment. So, enjoy that free blue orb on the house. Or what you can do is you can buy a blue orb at the shop, and then just pick that one up, get 2 free boosts to your health bar. You could always do that too. Anyway, secret mission time, Stairway of Tranquility. You like the secret mission where you had to jump off of Sin Scissors to get a blue orb fragment? You did? Good, because now you have to do that with Sargazos, and they're equally, if not more, annoying. Don't ask me how I did it on my first try, because during my test playthroughs, this secret mission took me forever, and it was so damn painful missing that blue orb fragment. Because every time you miss it, the Sargazos laugh at you. It's like being back in high school all over again. And I'd rather not talk about that. If you screw up getting the fragment the first time around, just go back to where Dante was standing once the secret mission started, and wait for the camera to shift back to the Sargazos, going back into their original formation, and then you can start climbing up for the fragment again that way. Because if you spend too much time fooling around, the Sargazos will try to nip at you and bite you, and they'll be spread all over the place, essentially nipping your chances of getting that fragment in the butt. That secret mission is more of a test of patience and tolerance, how much you're willing to put up with in order to get something that could be beneficial to you later on. Or you could just be like me and, get it in your first try. That works too, I guess. Beginner's luck is a thing. Boy, you want to talk about patience? 15 missions in, and the big bad finally shows his face in a cutscene. You'd think that the whole reason Dante was here on Mallet Island, that the big bad himself, we'd see him a little sooner rather than later, but I guess not. I mean, there's more to say about the bare bones story of this game, and believe you me, I will talk about it, but not right now. Right now, we need to lower this drawbridge with our Wheel of Destiny! See, that was me trying to do a Yugi impression, but I realized I am nowhere near as dramatic as Dan Green is when he voices Yugi. So that's a boo-boo on my part. Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. Dan Green voicing Yugi, or whenever he does his Yugi voice, specifically Atem, is one of the more entertaining aspects to the Duel Monsters arc for that show. It's like casting Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. It's just such a perfect casting choice, in my opinion. Especially in later seasons of the Duel Monsters arc, where Dan Green really knows how to ham it up. Him and Eric Stewart just know how to bounce off each other so well. But enough about Yu-Gi-Oh! You might have noticed that the angelic statue at the beginning of the game is no longer there. In its place, though, is a seal. How odd. Make a mental note of that for later. I thought killing Griffin would eliminate the harsh weather, but I guess not. I see you! I see a brand new enemy, Plasmas! Plasma has 2 forms to it, the flight form, which is its default form, and a physical form. While in its flight form, the Plasma turns into a blue glowing bat that sometimes hovers and attacks from a distance. The bat Plasma will fire a thin beam from its eye, which starts out pointed at the ground and sweeps up vertically. Want to avoid this? Move to the side in order to evade. The Bat Plasma also has an energy blade which has the same tells as its beam attack, but instead of a narrow beam, it's a wider arc-shaped projectile that fires straight forward. They will get in close in order to transform into their physical form, however in order to do this they need solid ground to land on to carry out this transformation. While in their physical form, the plasma turns into a blue imitation of Dante where they prefer to fight up at close range. They have a multiply attack where when they're struck with a melee attack, the plasma will create up to 2 copies of itself. The copies will have full health while the original retains its existing health total. There's a set maximum of 3 plasmas present in one area, and plasmas will only multiply up to this point, after which they cannot use this ability. The plasmas, while in their physical form, can roll, same as Dante, to avoid damage, and they have access to their beam attack still, which instead of firing vertically, it shoots horizontally. Their melee attacks consist of basic attacks of Alistair and Ifrit, specifically Alistair's 4-hit combo and high time, as well as Ifrit's uncharged magma drive and basic punch combo. The plasmas, while in physical form, also have a ground shock attack similar to Inferno, but with a shorter range. Both forms are highly aggressive. The best way to deal with the plasmas is using Dante's Inferno ability. Alistair, while not terrible at dealing with them, isn't the most ideal devil arm to be using against them though. Of course, if you don't have Inferno, Ifrit's Kick 13 while in Devil Trigger is also ideal for taking them out, in case you lack the Inferno ability on Ifrit. Regardless, don't go into a fight with plasmas thinking that you could focus on one at a time, because if you do, you'll get swarmed faster than you can say, shit, I hate this game, why am I playing it? Not that I would say that, because I like this game, I really do. Warts and all. Anyway, there's this big surge of evil coming from this small puddle. Wonder what's at the leg. Oh my god, what is that? Is that from a smoker's lung? Jesus. Certainly explain all the skulls and crossbones, but nope, meet our next boss, Nightmare, and we begin the fight by getting pulled into Nightmare's world. While Nightmare is a pile of fluid, it'll attempt to swallow Dante and transport him inside his world. Here, you have to fight a couple of Sargasso enemies, and finally, a previous boss before you can escape. What boss it is determined by what round you're fighting Nightmare. Since this is our first time fighting Nightmare, our first boss is going to be Phantom. Think of it like a boss rush, except not really, because you can avoid this attack if you're quick enough at getting towards the rune seals, which is how you break Nightmare from his fluid form. I'm just too slow and Nightmare's too fast. I also want to show off, the boss fight in its entirety, what you're going to be doing in case you get swallowed. Because if you do get swallowed, and I know what I'm saying, shut up, get your mind out of the gutter. But if you do get swallowed by Nightmare, if you manage to escape from his world, this is a great opportunity to do some real damage to him, as you'll see. It's not just Phantom that's in here. The next round we face Nightmare, because we are going to be facing him 2 more times. We're going to be fighting 2 previous bosses that we faced and defeated. I'll leave you to guess which ones are those and what order we're going to be fighting them in. Also, unless you're trying to complete the Monster Compendium, because there is a Monster Compendium in this game if you need some tips and tricks on how to deal with certain monsters or demons, don't use the Nightmare Beta on Nightmare. It'll have no effect on said creature. By activating these rune seals, we can fully bring out Nightmare in his full grotesque glory. Say hi to the world, Nightmare.
Hello world, how is it going?
Nightmare is our next boss, and he is invulnerable to all our attacks while his cores aren't exposed. The only way we're going to expose his core is by activating one of the rune seals on the wall, which will expose the cores for a limited time. Depending on the amount of times you've hit the cores, not damaged them, will determine how aggressive Nightmare gets. His attacks consist of summoning worm-like creatures that try to latch onto you, a fluid pincer attack that he'll summon out if you try to get close enough to the cores. He also has like a fluid boomerang that he'll fire if you decide to damage the top core, but I think that's only in the 3rd round we face him. His most damaging attack is him firing a beam of ice, and unfortunately we didn't get to see it this round, but maybe in future rounds we'll get to see it. But after defeating Nightmare for the first round, we have to go all the way back to the room where the biplane is at, for there is another secret mission. There are 2 secret missions in today's episode. Aren't you guys lucky? After we deal with some demonic puppets, we'll get that secret mission underway. I wonder what it is. I don't think it'll be anything too difficult. I mean, what are the chances it could be a secret mission involving shadows? I mean, come on. There's absolutely no way in hell it's going to be a secret mission involving shadows. No, there's just no way. We already dealt with like 6 of them in a secret mission. Well, combined anyway, so there's no way. No! Why me? Why? I thought we were done hunting shadows. Anyway, this secret mission has us playing hide and seek with shadows in different rooms. Yeah, it's gotten so bad for the shadows that we're the ones hunting them instead of them hunting us. Can you think of a worse profession? I mean, there's always Pooper Scooper at the zoo, but I digress. Anyway, we have to deal with 2 shadows in this room, 1 shadow in the next room, and then there will be 1 more shadow to take care of. There are a grand total of 4 shadows. This secret mission, barring the amount of shadows you have to deal with, isn't too terrible. You're just walking around rooms that you've previously been in. Again, activate your devil trigger, and these shadows ain't shit. I'm just tired of talking about them, I'm tired of facing these fucking things, and I count my blessings that this is in normal mode and not hard mode, because hard mode plasters these things in places that you really don't want them to be in. But I'll discuss that when we get to the extra episode. Also, keep in mind, keep track of which door you came out of, because if you go through the red door, you have to restart this secret mission all over again, and that's not fun. Those 2 shadows are a pain in the ass, and if they already did enough damage to you in that first room, and you have to restart it all over again, you're gonna have a bad time. Surprisingly, I'm not having a bad time with this shadow despite the confined space. Again, why do they keep putting shadows in confined spaces? It's not fun. If it's your first time playing this game, it is incredibly aggravating. It's... ooh. I sound like I just passed a kidney stone. That or I had some really bad soup. I mean, it's appropriate. I mean, have you ever tried bad soup? Ugh. I can never stand split pea soup. Split pea soup just looks disgusting to me. I mean, I've never tasted it before, but just the texture of it and how it looks to me, it looks like liquefied boogers, you know? Not to demean anybody that legitimately likes split pea soup, and if I ruined it for you, I apologize. You know, I blame split pea soup and how it looks. Tell it to look better next time. That sounded really callous of me. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I didn't mean for that to come out as callous as it was. But off in the distance, there's a blue orb fragment. Air hike, and booyah, we got ourselves another fragment. Alright. And I keep thinking there's another shadow in this room. Either that or I'm just combing it just to see if there's anything else. Don't want to leave anything up to chance, because shadows are darkness given form, and if not for their beady red eyes, they are experts at camouflaging themselves in the darkness. So this secret mission can be a bit troublesome just to find that last shadow. It is in the room where the God of Time statue is above, but again, my mindset while playing this at the time, or at the time of recording it, was to leave nothing up to chance, comb the room over as best I can, just so I'm not missing anything, and then I head into the next room. And booyah! There's the last shadow, and this room isn't that confined. It is very dark, though. Thankfully, the Luminite is lighting the way. And after that, I pray to God we don't have to deal with any more fucking shadows. I am sick to death of shadows. Again, this is all if you decide to go for the secret missions, because this is where they become the most troublesome enemy to deal with. If you're playing the game on normal mode, straight through, no secret missions whatsoever, then you're not going to be encountering shadows all that much. If anything, I think you only encounter the shadow 1 time in the whole game. Which, yeah, it's very surprising. But the last shadow is done, and of course, you had to get your fucking licks in while you could. Fuck you, Shadows. Fuck you. I'm glad this is the only game you're in. Well, ignoring later games in the series, but we'll get to that. Anyway, through some fancy editing magic, we go back to the room we faced Nightmare in, and we're back at the crumbling bridge. Let's get all the way over to the other side through platforming. Ah! But it's okay, we have air hike this time, so this platforming section shouldn't be too much trouble. And booyah! Got that done my first try without falling near the water. Nice. Or into the water, anyway. Now, let's use the Staff of Hermes that we acquired from the ghost ship way back in Mission 12. Or, no, Mission 13. Yeah, it was Mission 13. God, my memory is utter pudding. Pudding. I always like vanilla pudding. That was my favorite. And that is Mission 16. Done in 16 minutes. Nice. Hey! Broke the streak of bees again! And we've got enough red orbs for Rolling Blaze. Fuck yeah! With that kind of high note, we'll end it here. Next time on Devil May Cry, we tackle Mission 17. See you guys then.